Hey everyone, welcome back to 996 The Howl. For the first player deep dive for this offseason, we're going to go to the longest tenured player in the organization, coming up on 10 years, and me as well for this channel coming up on 10 years. I've never done a video on Lawson Crouse, the sheriff as we call him, but it was definitely time to do a video on Crouse. A huge bounce back season. You rarely see this. This is like the first time I can remember right now where a player just had a huge bounce back from where he was, had a really down year, and the team just trusted him, kept him, knew he would work through it, and he himself knew he wasn't performing well last year either. It wasn't just the team, and that's the type of human and humility you need to realize, you know what? I had a bad season. It's on me. I need to work on some things. And then he comes back. We keep him. We don't trade him. And he's back to where he was. And if not, even better. So I got his last 3 season stats up on the board. The last Arizona season, the hockey club season, and now the Utah Mammoth season. The move from Arizona to Utah was the hardest, I would say, on Lawson Crouse, both on the ice and off the ice. It seemed like he had the toughest time to acclimate to Utah. He just had a newborn child right when the move was happening from Arizona to Utah. He loved Arizona. He wanted to be there forever. And then obviously they get relocated. And where other players like Keller thrived, having a career year, other players like Schmaltz was doing pretty good in the first year in Utah, even better with the Mammoth. Just Lawson Crouse did not look himself at all. And, his line mates, him, Bukestad, and Michelli from that last Arizona line, all 3 of them just had miserable seasons. And we moved on from Bukestad and Michelli. But good thing we kept Lawson Crouse. Some stats that aren't on this board are his plus minus, even though plus minus, a lot of people don't like to talk about it, only if it's of note. And I feel like it is of note. He led the forwards in plus minus with plus 20, tied with captain Clayton Keller. Obviously, they were line mates for most of the season. Also not on this board, you might say to yourself, oh, well, maybe he had a bounce back season because he had more power play points. He only had 1 power play point this season. He was doing all this damage in this column 5-on-5, which you love to see. That is just gravy. I love when players are so good 5-on-5. And yeah, he's on that power play number 2 unit, which I really don't have any expectations for. It definitely could help that they're a good power play unit, but mainly if PP1 isn't going, it is very rare on most nights where Lawson Crouse and PP number 2 are picking up the slack. Another reason why he had a down year was his time on ice was less. It was more restricted. He took more of a depth role when they moved to Utah, and they took him off the PK for whatever reason. So it could also be some fault on the PK specialist coach, or maybe Andre Tourigny as a whole, because he lost pretty much 3 minutes, and that was all mainly on PK time. You could see he only had about 60 minutes the whole season, 81 games, all 3 seasons. He played 81 games played, so he's healthy. He's a durable player, and they put him back on the PK, and I had no really issues with the PK all season. I understand it sort of dipped in the new year, but they were winning at the same time, so I wasn't really too concerned. But definitely, the PK did show cracks in its armor nearing the middle and end of this season. But it seems like when Lawson Crouse is playing on the PK, he's just more engaged in the game. He's not sitting down. Pretty much that's probably what happened with the hockey club season. He was barely getting power play time because PP2 wasn't doing anything in the hockey club season, even with the Mammoth season, but he wasn't playing PK as well last season before the Mammoth. So he was pretty much sitting on the bench for long stretches of game, only coming out for 5-on-5 play. So this Mammoth season, going back to 220 minutes on PK time, that's about 2.5 minutes per game on the PK. His goals, he reached a career high in goals. He tied it at 24 goals, and he was 1 assist and 1 point away from tying his career high in assists and points. So he was back producing. He was playing top 6 minutes most of the time with Keller and Schmaltz. He has a very deceptive and sneaky good shot Lawson Crouse does. So I want to see him shoot a little bit more. I talked about shots in a previous video and what I think went wrong with the Mammoth, but we saw that in the playoffs against Vegas. He was shooting from like the top of the circle with so much distance, and he put so much power into his shots, his snap shots, with his 6'4", 220-pound frame going into those shots. His goals per 60 minutes, 1.1, which is a career high. It's back to where it was in the last season with Arizona. The last season in Arizona, he was part of that magical line of players I already mentioned, Bukestad, Michelli, and Crouse. They were just scoring at will. All three of those guys nearing 20 goals on the season. Crouse had 23 goals on the season. Bukestad was a 20-goal scorer. Like, that is just unheard of. But that magic quickly ran out when they became the hockey club. His points per 60 minutes, another career high at 2 points per 60 minutes of him on the ice. His hits has pretty much stayed the same. He's really engaged in hitting. He is that prototypical power forward, maybe a little bit more tougher from Crouse, but honestly, no hard words for his physicality. And if anything, like if there was a stats of hits per minute, which I could have done, definitely it was higher in that hockey club season than the Mammoth season. You can see that his PK time, a huge jump from the hockey club to the Mammoth. And then you go to his 5-on-5 on ice analytics. You know, Andre Tourney and the Utah Hockey Club and Mammoth, both seasons they were analytical darlings, so I didn't expect bad analytical numbers. And in fact, they were really good analytical numbers. The glaring point was the finishing this season. When Lawson Crouse was on the ice, the Utah Mammoth were scoring way more than the mathematical models expected them to. Like a 51.5 expected goals for share compared to your opponents when you're on the ice. And in reality, it was actually 57.5%, which is elite. And that's also due, when I say on the ice, that means all his line mates on the ice as well. So obviously Nick Schmaltz had a career year. Same with Crouse, pretty much tying career year totals. So Schmaltz scoring at will, Crouse scoring at will. You know, you throw in Clayton Keller and some good defense. They were outscoring the opponents in that goals for share as well. Corsi and Fenwick percentages. This is shot attempts share. So Corsi is all shots, shots that miss, shots that get blocked, shots on goal. And Fenwick is just unblocked shot attempts. So shots that hit the net and shots that are missed. It doesn't count blocks. And for the Mammoth, you know, almost near over 53%. It's pretty much the same as a hockey club as well. I remember last year with the hockey club, that Crouse, Doan, Bukestad, Michelli line, whatever configuration it was, they were just amazing analytically, but they couldn't do anything in reality. They had such a hard time putting the puck in the net with the hockey club season. And now with some changes, a bounce back year with Crouse, he's finally able to put that puck back in the net. I can see him being a 30-goal scorer next season as well. I don't expect another down year for Crouse. He changed his off-season routine as well. He's incorporating more running, more cardio. He said he wanted to do that to, one, stay in shape, and two, to just, you know, these games are long. He noticed himself in those third periods, he was kind of losing gas. So keeping up with the cardio helped them stay engaged in the game, be more productive and effective late into games in the third period as well. So I'm loving this bounce back season from Crouse. You rarely see this, like I said. Well, we saw Carconi have a nice bounce back season as well, but we really do need Crouse to produce. We'll see if he stays in the top 6 next season. There's so many good young prospects that are vying for that top 6 spots, especially Tej Ginla. So if you want to stick with the same Crouse, Schmaltz, Keller, and then maybe a Ginla, Cooley, Gunther, that could work, but Crouse needs to maintain this production and efficiency. He needs to produce if he wants to hang on to that top line role with his other Arizona buddies. I'm sure he knows that. I'm sure, like, you know, he earned that top 6 spot this season, but he's got to maintain that. And I understand he's getting up there in age, around 29, 30 years old. But if he could maintain that efficiency, maintain this production, be a sort of power forward. He could teach Iginla his ways as well. Like Tej Iginla could take after his dad and Lawson Crouse of being that power forward with a sneaky good shot. So my only concerns for Crouse is he should maintain this. I expect a career year out of him in terms of goals and points. It should be like, I think he could get 30 goals and around 50 points, maintain that spot with Keller and Schmaltz, and then just our other lines get more beefier and more threatening as well with skill on those other lines. But just a wonderful season by Crouse, so kudos to him, congratulations to him. I'm sure he feels good, and I'm sure he's working just as hard this offseason as he was last offseason to get back on track. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, spread the word. And as always, thank you for your support.